content's for educational purposes only. Can't stress enough for you guys to do your own research. Praise my content. Throw in the errors you find in the comments. None of us have been alive long enough to know all that transpired in the past, and none of us can live long enough to know all there is to learn. Welcome back to the channel, people. No wooden nickels, they don't spend. Hey, only thing I can do is make suggestions, man. You know, based off, the research, etc. that I've done, and what's been proven to have occurred in history. History is the best. History is best qualified through research. So let me just remind y'all of a few things. First of all, in the early 1900s, Meyer Rothschild and the guy Chase, who the Chase Manhattan Bank is named after, they collaborated and took control of the medical industry as well as the educational industry. I've stated this in the past on videos. One of the quotes that was made by Rothschild is, "I'm not interested in a society of thinkers. I'm interested in having a society of workers." That's number one. Number two, they took control of the medical industry. And all things holistic were taken out of the books, taken out of information circulation, and they began introducing chemicals and things made in laboratories, for human consumption. And they promoted it as if it were holistically sound and the best thing for you. Need I remind you guys also of the Tuskegee experiment, Henrietta Lacks, So why do I say all of that? I say all of that because these things happened in the early 1900s and in the mid 1900s. This is 2023, y'all. So if they were advanced enough to do the things that they've done in order for things to be how they are today, imagine how much further advanced they are. I'm going to go back to another thing. The military industrial complex. Project Bluebeam. Project COINTELPRO. I mean, there's so many different types of programs that the military has, ran on the public, dealing with mind control, hypnosis, and things that are like, as well as, well, let me go back. Let me not go there. Almost lost my train of thought, but basically what I'm saying all this for, man. This is to my people, all melanated, carbonated, non-ether beings. You really need to wake up, man. These are the same people in the same position. You got to understand infrastructure as well. The government and governmental agencies are set up with an agenda in mind. Those who think not just need to do a critical analysis as it relates to research of what actual history is as opposed to what they tell us it is. And that is basically the premise of this video, man. We have to stop being so trustful We have to stop taking what is given without, knowing what's actually transpiring. What I mean by that is basically, before I even get into that part, I have to go into this part. It's important for us, and when I say us going forward, I mean non-ether beings, melanated, carbonated, ebenoids, whatever you choose to, identify with as far as classification. Um, it's important for you to know who you are and what you come from, man. If you're an individual that's walking around here chest poked out, thinking you know everything and you ain't done near bit of fucking research, don't even know your culture, and this is not a knock. Truth owes no apologies or no explanation, man. But if you're one of these individuals, man, walking around here chest poked out and you clinging to another's culture, another's ways, and your life is basically compiled of the aforementioned. You know nothing about your culture. You know nothing about your ancestors. If you don't think that shit's important, then look how the Europeans memorialize and worship their ancestors. They put one of their ancestors on a painting, on a cross. Look at the kind of power that had. But listen, man. The birds, when they get up, hold on, let me take my situation off. Put it on do not disturb. I don't want to be interrupted when I'm doing what I'm doing. If you look at the birds, look at nature, man. The birds get up in the morning before all of us, just about. A lot of us. They chirping, singing praises. Then they get out and start foraging for food. All of them get up hungry and are provided for throughout the day, according to nature. You look at these Europeans in control. They can't stand nature. They're not natural themselves. Truth be told. And again, this ain't no hate speech. This ain't none of that. Again, the truth owes no apologies or no explanation. So, you ain't got to like what's being said. Prove me wrong. Anyway, and we don't come from no goddamn apes or gorillas. So, if you look at the birds, they're provided for day in and day out. Nature is provided for day in and day out. Before integration, we knew how to grow our own food. We had our own businesses. We ain't got none of that shit today. It's only a select few that's doing it. And we need to get on that type of shit. Everybody needs to know that, African American is bullshit. Social engineering. Negro, black, colored. All you got to do is research the Consensus and Dawes Act. When they allowed all types of pale-skinned individuals to be listed as Indian on paper for $5. There was a time when we, keep in mind who I said we are, were classified as Indian. American Indian. Then it went to mulatto. Then it went to Negro. Then it went to colored. Then it went to black. and African American. And the latter two are still interchangeable today. You know, and none of those things equate to a nationality. So all of y'all who think that that shit don't matter, y'all, it just lets me know that y'all have not done any study or research. That's all that tells me. Why I say we need to know who we are, who and what we come from, our culture and our customs and ways, is because, man, why do you think your grandmother or your great grandmother or your great great going on back had all them children? Because they didn't do the abortion. They didn't do that. You man or woman enough to lay down and not pull out, or the condom do break and you still keep going and release into the woman, or as the woman, you know this shit is taking place and you still allow him to release in you. If you man or woman enough to do that, then be man or woman enough to deal with the consequences of that. If it's enough for one, it's enough for two. If it's enough for two, it's enough for three. You know? You don't know. See, there's also a spiritual side to this, but that comes with knowing who you are, your ancient customs and ways, and, you know, honoring your foremothers and forefathers, i.e. the ancestors. You know? When you go to have your child, see, this is why we need to put ourselves in a position to take care of ourselves. You know, what do you think they're doing with those placentas? What do you think they're doing with those stillborn fetuses or those aborted fetuses? What do you think they're doing with the... Why do you think that melanin is over $1,000 a gram and gold ain't nothing but $400 and something a gram? I thought gold was one of the most precious things on earth. You see what I'm saying? Why do you think they encourage or have so many abortion clinics, predominantly in, you know, low income, low housing areas or parts of society? Y'all have to really like pay attention to what's going on, man, and stop allowing the distractions, because you're gonna have distractions. Stop allowing all these distractions to blind you to what's important. You know, everybody's so fixated on money now. Don't get it fucked up. I understand. The way society is set up, we all need to be able to provide and survive. But we so preoccupied with what they've put in our face, you know, that we forego the things that are important for us as a nation, as a bloodline, you know. We don't have no doulas. We do have them, but we need more, you know. Ain't no need for you. What do you think? How do you think people even evolved to this point? There was not always hospitals until the turn of the last century. Well, I ain't gonna say that. Probably, I don't know. I haven't researched when the first hospitals were erected, but how do you think people or societies flourished before that time, whenever that time was? On a natural occurrence. You see what I'm saying? Things happen naturally. The body is, you know, compiled with everything it needs to survive and thrive. you know. It's just a lot, man. I mean, I know. See, I understand that the shit I talk about, ain't ratchet, and I ain't hooping and hollering, calling, women a bunch of bitches and all that, showing up, glamorizing the death of our people and shit like that. I know I'm not doing all that. So I don't expect to get the kind of views or the kind of spins that other individuals get. And ain't no hating that. I understand. See, it's a lot of circumstances I've embraced based upon being true to who I am. So this ain't nothing different. But, at the end of the day, for those who, recognize and resonate with the type of things that I'm speaking about, man, shout out to y'all if you get it. And if you don't, man, I understand, man, that, it ain't if you look back through history, shout out to John Henry Clark, the elder and the ancestor now. He did, a speech where he said, we've had no friends. Throughout history, we've had no friends. Everybody that we embraced, they took what they could get from us, and then they turned on us. Get what I'm saying? And if and anybody that knows real world history understands that they've done nothing different but converted everything to a more efficient and what's the word that I'm looking for? Covert way of operation. All these large corporations, new plantations, because what's the new slavery? Your energy and your time. Your energy and your time. During the same time, we ain't doing nothing but further, and I'm at work right now. Nothing hypocritical about what I'm saying. I just haven't gotten to the point whereby I can walk away from this bullshit. Trust me, it's in the plans. Because all you get is a bunch of house niggas, trying to stay in good graces with Massa, going against people that look just like him and anybody else, that stops them from getting what they deem to be prosperity. Not even realizing or recognizing, let alone understanding, that the substance is already in their possession. A lot of us don't even understand the infrastructure of society, how it's ran, how things actually exist in law and commerce. They don't realize that everything is consensual. They don't understand jurisdiction. They don't understand status. And that's due in part largely behind the rewriting and the recreation of what history, how history reads. All you gotta do is look around. Shit's already been proven that a lot of the truth ain't in the history books. And they are the gatekeepers of everything that is deemed to be a gateway to prosperity and success and abundance. But understand, y'all need to really understand, man, that if you don't have a prosperous mindset, if these things don't already exist within you, then you can have all the money in the world. Well, not money, currency. and it still ain't gonna mean shit. Not in the larger picture, the larger scheme of things. And that's what we overlook. We overlook the larger scheme of things for the instant gratification, or the emotional gratification, or the psychological gratification that we get via the things that they have deemed to be important in life. You know, a lot of us, man, it's just, at some point shit's gonna change. I'm not in control of that, but I welcome the day. Because, again, man, this is no knock to nobody who may not be as learned as I am, or as, studied up, or has done as much research as I have. This is the reason why I had this channel. Just to share the information I'm privy to, or have come across, or have, done what was necessary to attain such information. Just like on my Facebook page. I don't even really fuck with Facebook like that no more. When I want to post something, I go on there and then I come right the fuck off. Whoever gravitates towards what I post on my Facebook page is who's meant to gravitate towards it. Those that don't, no love lost. We all gotta chart our own course. We was all born individually. We all have our own individual purposes for being here. And I bet that it ain't for what a lot of us spend our lives doing. And this is something I need to stop too, man. I'm struggling with it, back and forth. I will get to it, but yeah, man. It's just a lot of things. Once one becomes consciously aware of the true reality that we exist in, how so much has been hidden from us, and how we've been taught and trained and mentally colonized and indoctrinized to believe the narrative that has been placed before us. And as a result of such, we base our lives, or build our lives around, or upon. And it's so sad that you look at the state that the entertainers are in right now. Either they're getting killed, going to jail, or they scared to talk about what's real. Because that little carrot is dangled in front of them. It's more importance is put on currency and monetary possessions than it is on character development. Soul development. So much so, man, that we see shit right in front of our face, but either we not thinking critically enough, or we just focused on whatever it is that we focused on, that it's not of an importance for us to take a step back and look at ourselves. And I just said a mouthful. They do not want you analyzing self. They do not want you getting in tune with self. They do not want you to align your chakras. They do not want you to evolve. You know, cosmologically, things are happening. They write it off to global warming. That's what they want to call it. You know, that and so many more things. But, you know, we got to stop. The premise of this, man, we got to stop being so trusting. We got to stop believing so much of what is put in front of us. You know, because contrary to popular belief and opinion, man, when you analyze it critically, ain't many got a lot of good intention for us. And the things that they've made important in our minds is what they dangle in front of us in a way to have us believe that they have our best intention. You know, but if you look at business, it's a term called leverage. Before I depart on this video, this short video, I'm gonna break that down for those who may not know. If I start a business and I'm manufacturing clothes, so that means I'm purchasing garments. You know, I'm purchasing or developing, you know, pictures or some type of art to put on the clothes. And I'm only one person. I can only produce so much material in a day. But if I had 200, 300, 400 more sets of hands doing it, then I can produce. I can massively produce the product that I have for sale, which will in turn increase my profits, which will also in turn give me tax write-offs and tax benefits, because as a corporation with more than 2 employees, if you know anything about the tax code, you know, I'm winning. You know, even when it comes to, you know, those little checks that they was giving out, I forget what they call them. You know, if you had your business set up properly and all the books and shit straight, then you can get up to $50,000 instead of this $1,600 or $1,200 they was giving out. You know what I'm talking about now. But anyway, man, I ain't got much time. As I said, you know, you guys can see and or hear that I'm at work, and I gotta go and get back to it. You know, so as is always, man, it's my hope that something that I said in this video is has resonated and or has brought in some type of an enlightenment to anyone who's watching. Appreciate those that do watch, those that are members. Shout out to y'all. And with that being stated, man, I'm on my roll, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Out.